The amount of fat you lose on this in just 2 to 3 months is insane. I'm not even joking. This is my guide on how to use Reta to maximize fat loss in the shortest amount of time possible. That is because the honeymoon phase is different for everybody. It might last a month, it might last months, who knows? But this stuff isn't cheap, so you're going to want to make the most of it whilst you can. When you first start taking 1 milligram, because any less, I've tried it with clients, it's a little bit lackluster, but that 1 milligram when you first do it is going to be crazy. You should aim to lose as much fat as you possibly can. Now, if you're somebody with a physically demanding job, you do have to consider that. You're going to experience low energy, a bit of fatigue. That is normal. That is normal going low calories in and of itself. And if you're somebody training, an hour and a half a day on pre-workout every single day, minimal rest, again, you're going to have to take that into consideration. But if you're smart with your programming, like what I have most of my clients on, which is hyper low volume or low volume, and some are on moderate volume with lots of rest days, then yeah, and especially if you're working a job that isn't physically demanding, then you haven't got to worry at all about being on an extremely low calorie diet for a couple months or 3 months. But it doesn't matter your starting point. You could be significantly overweight, you could be sort of in shape. You are going to want to milk this, and I've had people drop serious amounts of fat on this in just 8 to 12 weeks. A lot of people comment on my videos like, oh, that's too low, you're going to lose muscle. Listen, so many bodybuilders that have already been dieting for months on end will have to drop down to stupidly low calories and their cardio's through the roof, and they still hold on to most of their muscle. So you, who's starting with a ton of fat, your glycogen stores maxed out, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So forget about muscle loss. Anything that is lost will be gained literally rapidly as soon as you go back up to maintenance or a surplus. So you are going to take 1 milligram of retatrutide a week. You can do it all on one day on the Monday, or you can split it up. It's totally up to you. It is a peptide. You need insulin needles, and you inject it sub-Q in your body fat somewhere, anywhere on the body. Most people do it on the belly fat. Within hours, you are going to feel appetite suppression, and when it hits peak plasma levels in the blood at the 48-hour mark, you are going to feel no pull to eat. So you are going to hit a ginormous deficit. You are basically going to eat somewhere around 1,000 calories, depending on how big you are, how much you weigh, how fat you are. Yeah, but for most people, they can drop down to 800 to 1,200 calories. They're going to stick to that until they get to their goal weight. And towards the end of 4, 5 or 6 weeks, you might have to up the dose to 2 milligram. And again, around about week 8, 9, 10, you might have to up it to 3 milligram. But you are going to stick to this, and to manage fatigue and low energy, you are going to train as low volume as possible. You're going to keep your cardio low and just focus on steps, aim for about 8 to 10